Good morning. Happy Friday. Sorry about that. It took a while for it to click on. So, welcome to the frozen tundra. We had a huge snowfall, and now it's going to be sub-zero temperatures for the next week. And it's Super Bowl weekend, and it's Friday. So, we've been talking about health all week, water content foods, drink half your body weight in ounces in water, eat don't food combine, life-giving breath, do your breath 3 times a day. What I do is I have an alarm that goes off and I stand up and I do breaths. So what is it that you have to eliminate? So let's talk about the things that you got to get rid of. And get rid of or reduce, okay? I'm not going to stand here and say that you have to completely eliminate these things, but eliminate or reduce. So number one, you got to get rid of the poisons. The poisons are processed food, processed in any way. Anything that's processed and not natural in its natural state, then, if it's in a can, that counts. Frozen does not count. Frozen vegetables are fine. Frozen fruits are fine. If it's, anything that's like orange juice in a carton, all right, that's not healthy. That's pop. In order for that to get into that carton, that orange juice has been pasteurized. When it's pasteurized, all the good stuff is taken out of it. They cook it to a certain temperature to kill everything. Then they put all kinds of vitamins back into it, all right? That is not healthy. If it comes in a container like that, it's not healthy. If you want orange juice, you get oranges and you squeeze them and you make orange juice. If you want lemon juice, if you want grapefruit juice, anything in a can, in a bottle, in a whatever, pop is not healthy. I don't care what it is. Any type of, if it's water, obviously that's healthy. Anything other than that, not healthy. That's a processed product and you need to eliminate or reduce all of those. Processed sugar. The difference between, and I talked to you about when I wore a glucose monitor, and I have no sugar issues, so it was really an interesting, but when I ate anything processed, even if you would think it was healthy, blue chips are supposed to be healthy, or even a baked chip, those things still have tons of processed sugar. Remember what's in there. It's a sugar product made from corn. And high fructose corn syrup is basically in everything, and it's one of the most unhealthy things that you can possibly take in. So anything, if it comes in a bag, if it comes it's processed, and if it's got processed sugar is absolute poison. And here's what happens when you put sugar in your body. Processed sugar. When you put natural sugar, your body knows what to do with it. It knows what to do with a grape. It knows what to do with honey. It knows what to do with an apple. But when you eat any kind of processed thing, even if you think it's a healthy thing, like orange juice out of a carton, or like some sort of processed, those little tiny processed juices that they say are fresh squeezed juices, but if it doesn't separate, it's not a fresh squeezed juice. So what are those naked things? Okay, that's processed. And anything that's not processed, when you set it down, any juice, it'll separate. If it doesn't separate, it's not processed. That's why the milk doesn't separate anymore, because it's not processed, because it's processed. Some of us are old enough to remember when they would deliver milk and you would have to shake it up, and actually cream would end up rising to the top. That's because it wasn't processed. Remember, our bodies ate that way for thousands and thousands of years. And then in a couple of generations, we dramatically changed the way that we ate. And we wonder why we have food allergies, and we wonder why we have all of these things. Well, when you dramatically change the food, the body doesn't know how to respond. So what happens when you put that sugar, any processed sugar in your body, is it feeds whatever is wrong with your body. So if you have a virus, that sugar is going to feed that virus, and it's going to make it that much more pronounced. If you have a bacterial infection, that sugar is going to feed that bacterial infection. Whatever you have going wrong, that sugar is going to go right to it. So processed foods, in particular processed sugar. If you want something sweet, make fruit your snack. That's a big part of what I do. I love grapes, I love mangoes, I love pineapple. I showed you guys my refrigerator once long, long ago. The other thing, honey. And get honey from your area. There's all kinds of farmers markets now where you can go pick up honey, get local honey. I get tons of it. Or you can buy a hive. Everybody's buying hives these days. So if you want something sweet, do that. Put honey over top of, get dates. But make sure they're not processed dates. If you've never had a date, they're fabulous. And it's like a big raisin. It's like a big juicy raisin. That's a wonderful thing. It's got tons of sugar, but it's natural sugar. It's not processed sugar. Third, alcohol. Any type of alcohol. Alcohol is the product of decay, and it is not healthy. I know that, if I drink a little bit of wine, I get tannins. Well, you get the tannins from the grapes. So why don't you just eat the grapes, and then you don't have the other stuff. Alcohol does not help with anything. It's not, It is a poison. Reduce or eliminate. Caffeine, reduce or eliminate. Now that's the one the one thing that I have done on this eating plan that I have not done is I've never completely eliminated caffeine. I did for a period of my life, but that's one that I still indulge in a little bit of caffeine. So, this isn't about being perfect, okay? This is about if you want to have vibrancy, if you want to have significant health, not just the absence of disease, but energy, these rules will significantly help with that. Dairy. And in this area of the country where I'm standing, boy, people do not get excited about this. There's nothing good about dairy. And you're going to say, well, but I need the calcium, okay? No, you don't. You can get more calcium from broccoli. You can get more calcium from fresh squeezed oranges. I need the probiotics. Okay, we can talk about that in a second. Dairy does not cleanse you. It clogs you. Dairy messes up with your ability to digest. The body is not, well, I need milk because I need calcium. Ask me this. Tell me this. Name one animal on the planet that drinks milk beyond infancy. Cows don't drink cow's milk. Calves do. Now, there are areas of the world where they have no access to food, and so milk is a protein source for them. But we don't live in Africa, folks. We have access to all of the food that we need, the majority of us. Milk clogs the body. It is not healthy. There's a reason so many people are lactose intolerant because we're not supposed to be drinking that stuff. And back when we drank it when it was fresh, okay. And, we also used to get glasses this big. I remember watching my grandfather have breakfast. And his generation ate what you weren't supposed to eat but still lived a long time. But his generation wasn't 4,000 pounds overweight. When they had bacon and eggs for breakfast, it was one egg that was not this big. It was 2 strips of bacon that were not this long. They were this, and it was a small piece of toast. It was a small glass of orange juice, and it was a small cup of coffee. And then that was all they ate. And then lunch, their portion sizes, they weren't huge back then like we are now. Our portion sizes are the size of our head. So, alcohol and dairy, I know that there's been a lot of stuff that says these things are somewhat healthy for you. It is not. Dairy is not healthy for you. It clogs your body. It clogs your ability to digest. There's a reason so many people have so much trouble with it. And now they pull out the lactose stuff, so you're supposed to still be able to drink it. Well, you know what? If they got to do all that in order for people to, maybe you just shouldn't have it. Gluten. Anything wheat. Now, why has that become such a problem? Again, because it's so processed. And what happens with gluten when we overeat it, and this was my biggest challenge. I found out I was allergic to lots of stuff But the biggest thing I think that started it was gluten, because I ate pasta forever because I didn't eat meat. So I ate pasta, 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 pasta. Well, gluten in the body causes your digestive tract to stop working properly. And when that happens, then you cannot process even healthy foods that you put in. You know, one of the problems that tons of people my age and older have in this country, 40 years and older have in this country, is their stomachs and intestines are so messed up from eating all of this food that even if they eat healthy food, they can't get the nutrients. They have what's called leaky gut. You know, women will hear, well, you have to get calcium because of your bones. They actually just recently did a study. One of the doctors that talked at this event that I just went to, they recently did a study where they gave women all kinds of calcium supplements and they still had bone density issues. It's not because they're not getting enough calcium. It's because their stomachs cannot process the calcium because they've eaten so much gluten that they now have leaky gut. And so even though they're taking in healthy foods, they can't process it. And that's what's drawing on the calcium. Their body is actually in starvation mode. And when it goes into starvation mode, one of the first things it starts doing is pulling calcium out of your bones because it's going to take care of your central organs. So it's not that you need to drink milk, it's that you need to heal your stomach. And one of the things you need to do in order to heal your stomach is to stop eating processed wheat, which is gluten. And gluten is in all kinds of stuff. But, you know, now when I started this, you couldn't get gluten-free anything. I mean, when I started this, I basically could eat fruits, vegetables, and rice and corn-related products. And everything had gluten in it. Well, now we're getting a lot better with this. We're getting gluten-free products, and we're getting a lot of these products. So if you can, that's one of those that if you could cut that out of your life, because there's still plenty of alternatives, you will do yourself a huge favor down the road. Next, meats. Try to reduce those as much as you can. And when you do eat them, make them lean, make them healthy. You know, eat the healthy stuff. Obviously, you know, when you're eating, you want to avoid, you know, you don't want to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? You want to avoid things that are deep fried. You want to avoid things that are breaded. You want natural foods in their natural state. When you cook them, you know, cook them as little as possible when it comes to like vegetables and that type of stuff. Rice, get a rice cooker. And then with meats, you know, I wrote down what I do. I like grass-fed. I get local stuff. And I didn't eat meat for a long time. I do now. It's not very often that I will eat it, once a week, maybe twice a week. I eat a lot of fish. The fish that I get, I make sure is a very high-quality product. I get Atlantic cod. I get coho salmon. I get it from Alaska. It costs a little bit more, but quite frankly, aren't you worth it? And when you eliminate all this other crap, you are cutting down on the money for that. I mean, if you're a pop drinker and you eliminate that alone, you know, when I stopped drinking and I looked at how much money I saved just by not drinking alcohol, that was kind of surprising. So, reduce or eliminate processed food, sugars, dairy, gluten as best as you can, alcohol, caffeine, and then, of course, anything that's developed in an unhealthy way. You do your best to follow those rules, 80% accurate, 90% accurate, and do all the other stuff that I said, your health is going to improve dramatically. Tomorrow we'll talk about where people go, well, what's left? If I can't have any of those things, what's left? We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll also talk about the people that are saying, well, I need more protein. I need more protein. Have a great day, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. Thanks for watching.